Guys, welcome to MBBS Made Easy, and our topic today is Brown-Séquard syndrome. So it is defined as damage to half side of the spinal cord. So if this is our spinal cord, Brown-Séquard syndrome is basically defined as damage to one whole half side of the spinal cord. This damage may be due to any tumor, any trauma, or any abscess. Before going into detail of Brown-Séquard syndrome, I like you to remember this rule for motor lesion. If the lesion is before motor decussation, you will see contralateral motor loss. But if the lesion is after motor decussation, you will see ipsilateral motor loss. Just like motor lesion, rule for sensory lesion is if the lesion is before sensory decussation, you will see ipsilateral sensory loss, and if the lesion is after sensory decussation, you will see contralateral sensory loss. I am going to illustrate rule for motor lesion. Basically, I am drawing corticospinal tract, which is our motor tract from our cortex. Fibers go down, decussate at medulla, and then they go down, and finally they go down into the spinal cord. So rule number 1 states that if the lesion is before motor decussation, means lesion anywhere from cerebral cortex up to the medulla, you will see opposite side motor weakness. And rule number 2 states that if the lesion is after motor decussation, means anywhere from caudal endomedulla up to the spinal cord, as in the case of the Brown-Séquard syndrome, in which the spinal cord half side get destroyed, you will see classical ipsilateral motor loss, means same side motor weakness. So now read the text. In the text, point number 1, it is written that ipsilateral motor weakness can be seen in Brown-Séquard syndrome. You know why? I already illustrated to you. Point number 2 said that upper motor neuron signs can be seen. Upper motor neurons are neurons which travel from cerebral cortex up to the spinal cord. As in the Brown-Séquard syndrome, spinal cord get destroyed. That's why you will see upper motor neuron signs like increases spasticity, increased tone, and increased deep tendon reflexes. Now I am going to explain rule for sensory lesion. Basically, we have two types of sensory pathway. The one is dorsal column pathway. I am drawing a spinal cord here. Dorsal column pathway go from spinal cord, but it decussate at the level of brain stem, and then they ascend upward. But there is another pathway which is called as lateral spinothalamic tract. It moves from spinal cord and decussate at the level of the spinal cord, then move upward. Now read point number 1. It illustrates that if the lesion is before sensory decussation, means before sensory decussation, you will see ipsilateral sensory loss. This point number 1 is typical for dorsal column pathway, in which the lesion is at the level of the spinal cord. Okay, means lesion is before decussation, cause decussation occur at this level, at brainstem level. So you will see ipsilateral loss of sensation of dorsal column pathway. And what are the sensation of dorsal column pathway? The sensation of dorsal column pathway is vibration and proprioception. Point number 2 states that if the lesion is after sensory decussation, you will see contralateral loss. See, in lateral spinothalamic tract, the lesion is at, you can say, at decussation or at the spinal cord, and decussation also occurring here. That's why you will see contralateral loss of pain and temperature. Read point number 3. It says just what I already told you, that ipsilateral loss of vibration and position can be seen in Brown-Séquard syndrome, and contralateral loss of pain and temperature can be seen. Now the diagnosis can be made on the basis of X-ray. Basically, this is the first initial investigation. MRI is best investigation, and biopsy to rule out tumor. Treatment is high dose dexamethasone, as dexamethasone is anti-inflammatory. It will decrease the inflammation. So that's all about Brown-Séquard syndrome. Thank you so much.